along to today's United Kingdom Talk.
From the Mirrorball studio in Royal Berkshire, this is Chris Reardon.
How are you today? All right, I hope. Now, I'm not going to go straight into moaning about my camera again. We are now still on the same camera I've used for the last couple of shows, if you watch it on YouTube. If you've been following the whole... Why is it that when I get a problem, it does seem to go on and on? Have you noticed that? I do try and fix things, but sometimes it's just not possible, and it doesn't seem to be in this case. That new camera I bought, the Logitech AF, what is it, AF? Sphere AF, that's now hooked up to the spare computer, which I put new memory in and everything, right? And I'm still having problems with it. What's happening now is that when I use it, I don't know if we've got any camera experts who can help me with it. It's only a webcam. That's all it is, a webcam. When I use it, the picture kind of lags. You know, sort of, if I move my hand quickly from one side to the other, it will kind of go like that. I can't work out what it is. Anyone got a clue? Maybe I should give Logitech another ring, I don't know. Because their helpline is pretty good, actually. I'll do that when I finish. There's an email address if you want to join in at all. It's chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, all right? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. As I mentioned a week ago, we do seem now to be in spring here in the UK, and it's been another lovely day. The sun's been out. Daffodils, the snowdrops are dying. They're gone already for another year. All the little snowdrops are all disappearing to be replaced by even more beautiful flowers, crocus and daffodils. I know I said this a week ago, but it's so nice out there, watching everything burst into life again. It's a bit like us in the morning, isn't it? Are you like that in the morning? Do you get out of bed and burst into life? Or are you one of those big, you sit there and you can't quite get it together, can you? No, I thought not. I've gone mad today. I've gone mad today. Now, I'm not known. I am not known, certainly in the DJing circles, and even at bingo, karaoke, I'm not known as a dresser. I've never actually been able to look good, I don't think, in any clothes at all. You know? Yeah, it just annoys me. I've always had friends, actually, one of my exes, Ronnie, and it didn't matter what he put on, it looked good on him. Me, I just don't get it. Doesn't seem to matter what clothes I wear, they never look good. I mean, I just want to point out, I'm not one of these people who puts on clothes that are too tight for them. Have you ever seen them? Oh, isn't it awful? Oh, especially when you see, like, some of the girls, and they wear the really tight, they're not tracksuit bottoms, they're like ski pants. Is that what they're called? Ski pants. And they wear them and a crop top. And I'm sorry, you know. I mean, I wouldn't wear that sort of thing, don't get me wrong. But and it doesn't matter what I wear, I just seem to look like a tramp most of the time. Why is that? Do you know, I felt something just drop out of my ear then. Did you see anything then? What was that? Have you ever done that? Tipped your head to one side and something drops out? Or haven't got infection or anything like that? Not another one. Oh, that was painful. Do you remember that? A couple of months ago when I had that ear infection. That hurt. Oh, talking of infections, I'm surprised, I'm a little bit disappointed, boys and girls, that no one has emailed or written in and asked about my Katie. My cat downstairs. Yes, you know the one, Katie, who she'd been pulling all the fur out and she'd got infected and I had to take her to the vet. Well, I've been giving her some antibiotic pills and it's almost completely cleared up. There is a little bit of a patch there now, but it's not red and what's the word? Is it festering? Because it was all a bit red and greeny in parts. That's why I had to go down to the vet, because what she'd been doing is scratching herself. Aren't they funny the way cats scratch, aren't they? They kind of go, like, quickly with their paw, don't they? Have you noticed that? Do you watch how a cat scratches? Maybe you scratch like that yourself, I don't know. But she's much better now, thank you very much. Yes, my cat is nearly functioning with all her normal perimeters. You won't know what that means unless you watch Star Trek. So she's much better now. I have to say, And I don't know if this goes for all cats, but giving her the tablet was easy. She's quite happy. What I did is I picked her up, put her on the table. I got my thumb and... What's the third finger along? Is that your forefinger? What's that finger? The thumb and that finger. So I got the thumb and finger on my left hand. I hot her in her mouth, right? Like that. So look at that. Her little mouth opened, like that. Right? I got the pill with the other hand. And she swallowed it straight away. She was happy as anything. No problem at all. And I'm kind of wondering, is that normal with cats? Have you ever had to give a pill to your cat at all? If so, was it easy? Were they quite happy with it? Male or female, don't matter what it were. Or did they struggle a bit? I like a good struggle, don't you? Huh? Do you fancy a struggle with me today on the show? Come on, let's have a little bit of a struggle together. If you too would like a struggle, or indeed, tell me about your cat. Have you ever had to give your cat pills? And was it easy? Do let me know on the email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Right? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. And talking cats... Moses, remember I told you about Moses the other day. He's one of the doormen who works at the place I work at in Clapham. And I did put one of these United Kingdom talk shows on a DVD for him, and he was watching it. And he said I did go on about my cats a bit too long for 20 minutes. He said he wasn't interested in my cats, and I did say to him, well, the cats are not interested in you, dear. Don't you be having a go at my cats. Oh, what a cheek. So, I mean, I'm a bit concerned. I'm a bit concerned that I'm telling you too much about my... Oh, what's that noise? I can hear a low buzzing sound. You don't think it's someone trying to break in? Maybe they're coming under the floor. Or maybe they're already there. Maybe someone's been buried under my floor. You don't know that, do you? And they're trying to get out. Stay down there. Get back down under that floor now. Yes, Moses says I mustn't go on too much about my cats because he found it boring. God... It's not nice, is it? But just before I finish talking about my cats, I must tell you, I was in Asda last week, and they are doing... I don't know if you get this in other parts of the world, but we have a tin. It's like a triangular tin. Oh, did I tell you this last week? They're doing ye old... I think I told you this. Ye old smoked ham, I think it is, or something like that in a tin, and it's only £1. Well, I bought 5 tins of that. Quite large tins as a kind of addition to the cat food. Now and again, I like to give my cats a little bit of a treat. Do you do that with your pets? I bet you do. Although it's harder with a goldfish, isn't it? Eh? It's hard. How do you give a goldfish a treat? What would you give a goldfish as a treat? I don't know. Cats is easy. Because if you always give them cat food, you can give them a tin of ham. Or, which I did last week. Oh, they loved it. They loved it, especially Tiny. Poor old cow. She's not doing a lot at all anymore. I'm a bit worried, actually. She's gone very quiet, and she tends to... I have moved her into the kitchen now, actually, and she sleeps on the table. She does sleep on the table. And that's all she does now. She doesn't even go outside, even when the sun's out. She just wants to sleep on top of the table. Now and again, she'd jump off the table. Oh, what amazes me, when I watch Tiny, she's the one she's over 20 years old. My Tiny. She's the one with the long fur. And I have to keep brushing her and cutting matted fur out. When she walks across the garden, she does walk like she's an old girl. Like wobbles a bit from side to side. But she still manages to jump up onto the table. I can't work that out. Do you think actually she walks perfectly all right, but when she sees me looking, she walks across the garden in a sort of wobbly fashion so as to get sympathy? I'm sure we all know people like that, don't we? Eh? Huh? You're not doing it, are you? You naughty person. Yes. So that's the cats with their new tin of ham. 4 tins of ham. They've got through 1 tin already, dear. Eating me out of our time. But it's only £1 a tin. That's marginally a little tiny bit more expensive than the cat food. And they do appreciate it. They'll come purring away. So that's that. Now, what else? Oh, haddock. Now, not on the subject of cats. Haddock portions. Now, usually, when I go and do I tend to have a little bit of fish twice a week. Usually Thursday and Friday, or Friday and Saturday. And I buy haddock portions in breadcrumbs or batter. So you just put them in the oven, 20 minutes, 200 degrees centigrade, out they come, lovely fish. Now, I did notice in the supermarket this week, they had haddock portions, and that's all it was. There was nothing around, no breadcrumbs, just haddock. But do you cook that in the same way? Because it didn't look the same, and it had skin on it. Oh no. Do you have to take the skin off? You know when they put them in batter and breadcrumbs, do they take the skin off first? I'm not sure. Because it didn't look the same, and I thought, oh, I don't know about that. The silver skin, you could still see it. Or, when they do dip it in batter and all that, do they leave the skin on? Does anyone know the answer to that? Because I'm not sure. Please let me know. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I was a little bit naughty the other day. Now, I think I was supposed to tell you about this on the last show, and I completely forgot all about it. But up Sainsbury's, I went up Sainsbury's. I had my dinner in the oven, right? Dinner was in the oven. And this is where I was a little bit piggish the other day. I went up to Sainsbury's at the local supermarket up the road. Not really my supermarket of choice, really, to be honest, but it's the nearest one, so that's why I go up there. And while dinner was in the oven, I started going around the shop and doing my bits and pieces, and I'm afraid I ended up at the cheese and onion pasty section. I know, they do cheese, and I had, not only did I have the 2 cheese and onion things, I had dinner as well. How piggish is that? Now, I'm wondering if that's why I have put on a bit of weight. Yes, I have. Now, it depends. You see, the trouble is, it depends. Now, I've got a little note about weighing scales here somewhere that I cut out of one of the papers. Oh, I bet this is the wrong one now. Oh, what have I done with that? Oh, hang on. Might be over here. 1 minute. Here it is. Now, you see, it depends. It seems to depend what scales you weigh yourself on. Now, the scales, I've given up weighing. Let me have a look at this now. I've given up weighing myself on those digital scales because they just tell so many distruths all the time, I think. Here it is. I found it. Let me just stand on these ones here, and I'll tell you, because I'm definitely heavier. Oh, right, 1 minute now. Stay there a minute. I'm sorry, I haven't got a moving camera or anything. 1 minute. Let's have a look. Okay, that's just... It says just a touch over 12 stone. You remember, for ages and ages, I was 11 stone 13, wasn't I? I mean, I don't mean to go on about my weight. On the scales at the sports centres that I go to, I am 11 stone 8. Or 11 stone 9. It does seem to change throughout the week. It changes by about 2 pounds. Usually I seem to be heavier on the Monday, and then by Friday I've lost it again. On the other hand, I do. Sorry, I've just got itchy eye here going. Oh, here we go. That's better. It does seem to change as the week goes on. Now, but I don't think we need to worry anymore, right? Because I found an article in the Daily Mail a couple of weeks ago, and it says why bathroom scales will rarely tell the truth. I'm not making this up. Absolutely. Right? This is in the Daily Mail a couple of weeks ago. It says, it's an old excuse from those who cannot shed the extra pounds. The scales must be wrong. We know the scales are wrong, dear. I've just proved it. I'm not 12 stone. Some people are saying now, oh, you fat thing, aren't you? You fat so-and-so. I can hear you now. Shut up. The scales are wrong. It says it in the paper here. Right? It says, but it seems that they may well have a case because researchers have found that almost 9 out of 10 bathroom scales are not correct. See? I told you. We got nothing to worry about, loves. No one who is listening or connected to this programme in any way, shape or form is overweight. Here is the proof. I mean, it's the Daily Mail. So it must be true. Must be true, dear. Some people don't like the Daily Mail. Oh, they're always moaning. There's always people moaning, aren't there? It says, there is another paragraph, unfortunately, here. It says, unfortunately, the machine is just as likely to underestimate their true weight as overestimate it. Shock horror. But hang on a minute. The scales in the sports centre tell me I'm 11 stone 8. These ones say 12 stone 1. So which one's out? That's the question. My guess is that, being as I belong to one of those posh sports centres, they wouldn't dare have an inaccurate scales in there, dear. I mean, there would be uproar. Oh, which reminds me, I've got to pay the fee again soon. I mean, you can do it monthly. It's so much a month. But if you pay a year in advance, you only pay for 11 months and you get the 12th month free. So, I mean, if you've got the money, and that's what I usually do, it's always worth doing that, isn't it? Pay it all up front. Get rid of that bill, dear. Get rid of it. It says, the older the device, the more likely it is to be out because sensors or other measuring components can wear out over time. Now, this could be a problem. Oh, I've got itchy back. Just a minute. Right, because those scales on the floor here are about 15 years old. Is that old for a pair of scales? Please tell me, is it? I mean, it's not as old as the cat, is it? The electronic scales downstairs are fairly new, and they've from day one, they've always told me I was over 12 stone. But the scales at the sports centre are not old either, and they tell me 11 stone 8. Who's telling lies, dear? It says the difference can be as much as 10% either way, meaning that a man whose true weight is 12 stone could weigh in at 10 stone 11 pounds and 13 stone another one. The worst machines were those more than 4 years old. Which rely on a spring action, a part which is most likely to wear out or stretch to give wrong readings. Oh, now they're mentioning my stretch marks. I mean, there's just no help, is there? There's no hope at all. Stretch marks. Have I got those? No. So there you go, all right? Don't worry too much about your weight. It says it in the Daily Mail, so it must be true. Now, shall we do the emails yet, or shall we hang on a minute? No, we will hang on a minute. Just a couple of... I don't usually talk about celebrities. Although a couple this week, I find them... I find celebrity stories completely and totally uninteresting. Why on earth people want to buy these magazines with pictures of celebrities going shopping or getting married or, I don't know, or coming out of a pub drunk? I mean, what? I don't get it. I really don't get it. What is so interesting about someone who's on the telly all the time? Or indeed on the radio or whatever, in the public eye, shall we say? I just don't get it. So that's why I rarely talk about celebrities. But there's a young man who is a star. Well, I say young, he's 80 years old. And I just wanted to give a quick mention to Bruce Forsyth, who is a huge entertainer here in the UK. I don't know if he's popular in America. I'm sure some of the Australians will know him. Wherever you are, have you heard of Bruce Forsyth? He's been a huge star here in the UK for years and years, starting out his career at a little place, I think, by the seaside, either Morecambe or somewhere like that it was. And then he was picked up by a talent scout to star in Sunday Night at the London Palladium, which was a huge, huge TV show here in the UK, I think back in the 60s and 70s. And he has now turned 80 years old, 80, Bruce Forsyth. And it's just fantastic. Type in Bruce Forsyth in the Google search engine, you'll find all about him, but he really is an all-round entertainer. I remember as a child watching him host Bruce Forsyth's Generation Game back in the 70s. Then he left that, and the show carried on, and he came back to it years later, and it was just as good, if not even funnier. And I felt very privileged. I did actually go and see Bruce Forsyth and the Generation Game at the BBC Television Centre way back in the 70s. I think Dad took me to see that. And happy birthday, Bruce, really. 80 years old, and he still dances like someone 50 years younger than his age. He can tap dance, he plays the piano, he sings, and he's very, very funny. And he just makes everything he touches just falls apart. He's hilarious. Hilarious. What a career. And it's not over yet. I'd like to see Bruce Forsyth still hosting television shows at 100 years old. And I've said before on this show, I think the secret of a long life is to keep going. Don't give up. If anyone's about to retire or anything like that, I would say to you, find something to do. Don't just fall into the armchair in front of the television and give up. You've got a lot more years left in you yet. Look at Bruce. Perhaps, I don't know, do entertainers retire at 65? I'm just trying to adjust this chair in front of me so I can put my feet up. A bit terrible, isn't it? Do entertainers... I mean, I have a pension thing, and that is set up to start paying out at 50, which is 5 years' time. 5 years' time, I'll be 50. I can't believe it. But would I really want to give up everything? I don't know. I don't think so. On the other hand, driving to clubs and things like that, maybe I won't want to do that. Maybe I'll want to do more of this sort of thing. And of course, when you retire, then you have got more time to do these things, haven't you? Look at that guy who does YouTube videos. I told you about him. Geriatric 1927 is his username on the YouTube, okay? Geriatric 1927. Have a look at him. He's an old boy. Was married. I think his wife passed away quite a long time ago, and he now does YouTube videos. And I was watching one of his recent YouTube videos, and he went into an old people's home and started interviewing people. You see, that's the secret. You've got to find an interest, maybe not computers, gardening, whatever. And I don't think it has to be an old person's interest. I remember when I was being in the Scouts and all that, there were plenty of much older people who were going camping and things like that. That's the secret to keep going. And I hope Bruce Forsyth goes on for many, many more years and keeps entertaining them. That's what he does. He makes people smile. And I can only hope one day that I can perhaps make a few people smile. That's what I like doing as well, making people smile. Happy birthday, Bruce. Another entertainer who died this week, and I didn't realise how old she was. Now, unfortunately, I didn't write down her proper name here. One second there, and I'll find her proper name. She was... Let me just type something. M-A... O-A-L-L. I should have got her proper name up there. Hang on a minute. Oh dear. Sorry. I wish I'd done this earlier. Let's type that in. I hope that comes up now. Will it come up? Oh, that could be it. 1 second. Here we go. I think we've got it. I think. Oh no, that's a. Oh dear. No. No, I can't find that now. Can't find that now. What a shame. But I found someone died this couple of weeks ago, or a while ago actually. I had no idea. Madge Allsop. Now that you may have heard that name before. Anyone remember Madge Allsop? She appeared on the Dame Edna show. Played, of course, by Barry Humphries, Dame Edna. Love the character. Absolutely love the character. And Madge Allsop, his kind of sidekick for quite a few years on the programme, died recently, 100 years old. And I had no idea she was that old. 100 years old. Quite a funny little character. She had a non-speaking part. Basically, Dame Edna is this Australian woman, housewife superstar. Madge Allsop was her little elderly lady friend who used to sit by her side. She never spoke, and she used to make fantastic expressions on her face. And she recently died as well. And another great entertainer. So Madge Allsop didn't say an awful lot. She didn't have a very big part, but she really became part, I think, of the Dame Edna show. So there we are, another little bit of news there. And one more bit of celebrity news. Someone that I don't rate at all in my sort of listing of people that I like, because I don't. Paul Burrell. Oh yes, you know the name Paul Burrell, don't you? Yeah. He's the one, boys and girls, that constantly tells you all about Princess Diana's private life. Stuff that she probably wouldn't ever have wanted you to know. I think we may all have bits and pieces of our lives that we would rather keep quiet. Do you think? Or bits that you don't want everyone to know about. And Paul Burrell has made an awful lot of money telling us all about Diana, what she got up to, what she did, with whom, at what time. You know, the sort of thing. All for money. All for money, so that he can make vast sums of money. With the newspapers paying him a fortune for all these bits and pieces story. Well, a lovely article last week in one of the Sunday papers saying some bits and pieces about him, which were very interesting. I'm not going to read any of them out in case some of them are untrue, but they were very, very interesting. If you want to check the Sunday papers from a couple of weeks ago now, I think it could have been News of the World or the Sunday People, one of those two. All right, some very interesting stuff there. But I can't stand people like that who make an awful lot of money by selling stories about other people. I mean, what about Diana's poor boys? What do they think when they read these things? You just don't need to be writing it, don't you? And I can't. I mean, it's verging on prostitution, if you ask me. When you find out about someone, or what's the other one? When people sleep with people, and then they go on the radio or start writing columns all about it to make money out of their experiences of sleeping with people. I don't like it. I don't like it. You get a lot of these girls, don't you? A lot of these girls. Who's the ones who win? There was a couple recently who've been sleeping with footballers, and then they sell their story to the newspapers. Prostitution, that's all it is. Prostitution in a roundabout way. And I haven't got time for anyone like that. If you are one of those people, please don't ever email me or speak to me in the street, because I haven't got time for you. If you want to do that, fine. You go ahead. And sleep with these people if you want, or find out if you want to be someone's friend, then fine, you know, you have your private conversations with them, but don't start publishing them in the paper for money, because it's not nice. It's really not nice at all. All right? God knows what will happen if I ever become a star. I dread to think of the stories that will come out. But it's unlikely now, is it? 45 years old, I haven't made it yet, so I probably won't. OK, let's go on to... How are we doing for time? That's all right. Let's go on to some emails. First of all, I can't remember if I read this out on the last show, from Carl in Yorkshire. Do you remember we were mentioning whether it was it legal to sell your old DVDs on eBay? And Carl in Yorkshire says there is no legal problem with selling your DVDs on eBay, because if you look at a DVD and a CD, it always says in the middle, you know, no illegal copying, re-recording, or and things like that, doesn't it? Or lending. He says And Carl says, the bit on the back about selling, lending, etc. is there because the copy you buy is for personal use only and not commercial use. In other words, you can't, for example, show it on a huge screen and charge for it. So thanks for that, Carl. But, you know, you do often wonder when it says for private viewing, this, that and the other, what if... I mean, I haven't got one of those big televisions, but what if I... oh, hang on a minute, I've got something on my... So, I had a bit of skin there on my thumb. I hate that, don't you? I was just eating it. That's better. Do you eat your own skin? Oh, I'm sorry, isn't that vile? Yeah, I mean, I've got a big telly, not a great big telly. I think it's about a 32-inch telly in the living room downstairs. It's about 7 or 8 years old. It's nothing modern or anything like that. But what if I had a load of people round to watch it? Say 10 people. It wouldn't fit 10 people in my living room. But what if I had 10 people come round and watch the telly? Is that legal? Am I sharing? Am I sharing the DVD? But Carl seems to think that it is okay indeed to sell your DVDs on eBay. Although, of course, you know, they've got to be the original ones that you've bought, not some copy that you might have made in your computers or something like that. All right, so I've never actually copied it. Can you copy your CDs in a computer, or do they have some sort of scrambling thing or something like that so it doesn't work? I've only just worked out how to put my own homemade DVDs on. My own homemade films that I make. For example, this. Okay, this programme, as well as being the radio show, I now video it as well with a little webcam, and it goes into the computer, and I've now worked out how to put that on a DVD. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do give the DVDs away as bonus prizes. I mean, if you're really lucky, you know, you can come along to Bingay, what I do every Monday. And there's a website to that, bingay.com. You must come one week. Sometimes I do give the Chris Reardon United Kingdom Talk DVDs away as bonus prizes. I mean, if you came every week, you could have an entire set, couldn't you? You must come to Bingay. I'm not going to give it a huge advert today, but have a look at the website, bingay.com, bingay.com. Every Monday, 8 o'clock at the Golden Lion. And talking of that, actually, the co-host is leaving, unfortunately. The co-host of Bingay is indeed the entertainment's manager. What happened is I started Bingay there at the Golden Lion in Britannia Street every Monday, King's Cross, about a year ago. And after a few weeks, the assistant manager there, his name's John, he asked if he could be part of it. And I quite like the idea of having someone doing it with me. And ever since then, after a few weeks of doing it, he then became a character called Miss Jackie Union. All right, and started doing it with me, and it works quite well, actually. But unfortunately, he is leaving. He's got another management position at a new bar. Well, I say not a new bar, at a bar in Hounslow, which is also in London, called West 5, and he's going off to manage that. Now, he has asked me to come and work from there one night a week, doing the Bingay thing. But at the moment, as you know, I've already dropped the quiz night for the moment because I just have no time to myself whatsoever. So if I was to do another night there, it would have to come from something that I'm already doing. So I'd have to think about, okay, well, what am I not particularly happy at doing at the moment? It's difficult. It's actually quite difficult. What do you do? Because you could be giving up something that's reasonably safe. Nothing is safe in the DJ world, in the entertainer world. Nothing is safe. Everything is always up for change. But what do? Do you get rid of something that's reasonably safe and take a risk, knowing that it might all come tumbling down in a few weeks and then you've got nothing to go back to? And I think my problem over the year, I don't know about yourselves, but my problem over the years has been that I don't like to take risks. Once I'm in somewhere quite stable, I might be bored, but I tend to stick with it. I'm not sure. I think there's pros and cons for that. One of the biggest cons is that you may find that you never actually move forward. Now, I know a couple of entertainers. No, I'm not going to say names. No names. There's one particular person who I think is particularly talented. But unfortunately, he won't break out of his comfort zone. I think he's tried a couple of times, but he's never really broken out of his comfort zone and gone to get work in other venues. Now, I think 5 years ago, I was kind of a bit the same as that. But I did something about it and I started looking around, and eventually you find it. You see, the trouble is, when you're looking for another job, doing, I suppose, any job really, you can't tell those above you what you're up to. It's almost quite sad, really, because, do you see what I mean? And sometimes it can take a very, very long time, certainly with the stuff I do, it can take a very long time to replace a job that you're not happy at. Of course, if people in charge made sure that you were happy, you wouldn't look around in the first place. But some do, some don't. Which ones do and don't? Aha! You're not getting that information out of me, are you? Right, let's go on to some more emails. Hello to... It's our friend Thomas in Poland. How are you, Thomas? He said, I've read an article in one of our magazines concerning tea drinking. As you know, I am a connoisseur of tea. Just normal tea, and not the herbal stuff, which Joe kindly sent to me. Didn't you, Joe? All those herbal teas. Thank you very much for those. Although I'm not too keen on those, as you know, Joe. So I did give them away. I hope that was okay with you. And the person I gave them to was over the moon. So thank you very much, all right? We didn't throw them away, don't worry. They got use. We don't do throwing away, dear. According to the magazine that Thomas read, he's in Poland, almost nobody celebrates 5 o'clock tea now in the UK. This is true. This is true. People are in work, buses, subways, underground trains, and usually it's between 6 and 7 when they reach their homes. Yes, I'm afraid that probably is true, certainly for most people in London, I would say. Most people don't now get home until between sort of 6 and 7 o'clock. Mind you, I think my dad in the 70s, he didn't usually get home till about 6, 7 o'clock. Children who came from school earlier had already packed themselves with junk food and lied on sofas watching television. I don't know about that. When I was a child, Mum was always... This is in the 70s, though. Mum was always at home. She was always at home when I went in from school. Always. And Thomas goes on to say, when Mum arrives, runs to the fridge, takes some ready meal box and puts contents to microwave in just a few minutes. Then all the family eats tea. I always thought tea in the UK is a sacred custom, and I always imagined that Daily Rush stops at 5 o'clock for about half an hour. No, I don't know where you got that from, Thomas. That couldn't be further from the truth, my friend. And I'm afraid, I think you're probably right about all this microwave food. A lot of people now buying ready meals. They have been doing so for some time, shoving them in the microwave, and that's the main meal of the day. I mean, to me, a microwaved meal is usually just some sort of snack. But yes, indeed, I have had beef casseroles and I don't know, lasagnas, and I have done them in the microwave before, but they're not, you know, they're just not nice, really. There are some reasonably nice things, but I've said many times before that all these ready meals, they're just full of salt and sugar and fat. I mean, and now a lot of them, they put on little notes on there, reduced salt or reduced sugar. There's still salt in it, dear. It's still there. I don't add salt to anything. Nothing. Absolutely not. I do not add salt to anything. Like if I have dinner, right, I don't put salt on it. But even in cooking, I rarely add salt. I think the only thing I put salt in is my homemade bread. That's about the only thing I put salt in. Those ready meals, but there are people living on them now. I mean, even dear Stacey and Gary, while they were here, I'm sure they had a couple of meals in the microwave. What is it? They had one. I did see them put something in the microwave. And you don't say anything, do you? You know, if that's how they live, that's how they live. But I mean, people need to be made aware of that. There's no point in saying I'm too busy to cook. Okay, die earlier then. It's as simple as that. Salt, sugar, fat, not good. Come on, you know it isn't. Don't start pretending and looking for excuses. It's like these people who smoke and they try and convince themselves that there's no real proof that smoking causes cancer or heart disease. Of course there is. You are fooling yourselves. And it's the same with these ready meals, I think. I really don't think they're good for you at all. But Thomas, I'm afraid you're right. A lot of people are living on ready-made foods, ready-made meals. Thomas goes on to say, so I thought that I know Chris, he's a great tea admirer, who could tell me how it is really. Well, there you go. That is really it. We don't stop for tea. I mean, I have a lot of cups of tea in a day, but I couldn't honestly say I really stop for tea. As for preparing tea, they say that the average British or American throws in the tumbler tea bags, pours some cold milk from the fridge, and then fills with hot water. Now, after making 2 or 3 movements with tea bag, throws it away and the tea is ready. Now, I know this cannot be true. You're too right, this can't be true. You're often told in your show how to make good tea. Well, I have. I've done that a few times. I'll do it again now. Okay? You can use a tea bag if you want. Get a high quality one. Don't buy an economy tea bag. Oh, it's vile. It's as weak as cat's wee. It really is. What you need to do is spend a bit of money on tea, gold blend or something, gold label tea, or Twinings. They do very good tea. So it's quite a few organic teas around as well now. You put your bag in the cup. You put the kettle on. When the water's boiling, you pour the water on the bag. Do not add the milk yet. Okay? Leave the tea bag in the cup. Okay, stir it around a little bit if you want to. Okay? You don't have to go too mad, just a couple of stirs. And then after about 3 to 5 minutes, you then remove the tea bag, squeezing it on the side of the cup, throw the tea bag away and add milk to taste. Now, do not pour enormous amounts of milk into the cup. There's a lovely girl I work with at the Golden Lion on Monday nights called Maria, Italian. And she asked me if I wanted a cup of tea the other day just before I started work, and I said, yes, please. Well, she brought it over. There must have been half a bottle of milk in that cup. Oh, it was awful. And I can't drink it. I'm not fussy. I'm not. What? I'm not fussy, but I looked at this milk. It was just like a cup of watery milk. Oh, it was awful. And I said, look, I really can't drink this. I hope she didn't get upset. But it was just horrible. And the other thing a lot of people do is put the milk in when the tea bag's still in there. And I don't care what anyone says, it does make a difference. I don't know why, but it does make a difference. Remove the tea bag first, squeezing it against the side of the cup, throw it away, and then add a small bit of milk. Do not fill the cup up with... It's not coffee. Completely different to coffee. I know some people make milky coffee, which is okay, I suppose. I'm not a great coffee drinker. I rarely drink coffee. But tea, you hardly want any milk in there at all. As for the Americans who make tea, I'm afraid it just doesn't happen. I know we've got an awful lot of American listeners, but I don't think I've had a nice cup of tea in America, or indeed Europe. Europeans and America, they don't know how to make tea. It's not their fault. They've never been shown properly. That's the trouble. People who make good tea, Australians, okay, some of what I would call the black country, Caribbean countries, they seem to know how to make tea. St. Lucia, Barbados, had nice tea there. I don't know about Indian countries, you know, on that sort of side of the world. I would imagine they can make tea as well. But Europeans and Americans cannot make tea. I'm sorry. I don't mean to upset you, dears. Maybe you can now that I've told you. All right? Thomas goes on to say, they also say in this magazine that Mongolia, Russia and Poland are the only countries where tea is still the main drink. No, I think it still is here in the UK, but coffee's pretty close. I don't know if this is true or not, but I can recollect my trip to Slovakia when I tried to order a cup of tea on a ship on the Danube, and they asked me what taste. I didn't want any special taste, but they had only what they called fruit tea. Oh no, I'm not keen on that. And what I don't consider to be tea at all. No, neither do I. Neither do I. Those fruit teas, to me, that's not tea. Tea is... Oh, tea is tea. It's not fruit tea. It's not... What's it called? What's that different tasting tea called? I can't remember now. Orange tea and raspberry tea and all that. To me, it's not tea. Tea is normal tea, like English breakfast tea. I agree with you, Thomas. When he succeeded finally to explain what I mean, very nice lady behind the counter said with true concern in her voice, "Oh, I hope nobody gets sick. Apparently they use tea as a kind of medicine." I didn't know that. Maybe Katerina would explain someday if they really don't drink tea in Slovakia. Well, I don't know. We drink a lot of tea in Poland, but almost nobody drinks it with milk. This is interesting. I tried once, but the tea has colour and taste that my stomach revolted against, so I never tried again. What, with the milk in it? Really? Oh. You like what you used to from your childhood, I think, and you can't change it when you grow up. This is very true. We often put lemon slice in it. We drink usually from tea bags because they're convenient, but I know some people don't like it. They said that if they wanted paper taste in their tea, they would put some toilet paper in. Oh, I hope not. Yeah, I suppose when you think about it, tea bags, the bags that they put the tea in, it is quite like toilet paper, and it's a really thin stuff. I heard one of the manufacturers are now making tea bags out of nylon. I mean, it's not good for the environment, is it? Nylon tea bags. No. He says, so I always have some real leafy tea for special guests. Well, I hope that would be me, Thomas. For every day we use Lipton yellow label tea. Yeah, I've seen that all over the world, that, isn't it? Yellow label Liptons. But recently, when I was in supermarket with my wife, I suggested to try English breakfast tea. She said, why? And I once said I've heard it on the radio. Oh, it could be my show. What was true? This is good. And truly, it is, but my children don't like it. Oh, they are just used to the one they've always had, the Lipton's one, I guess. I'm getting thirsty now, so I'm going to have to make some tea. Bye from Thomas in Poland. Thank you, Thomas. Try the English breakfast tea. That's the best. By the way, I've got a shirt on today. I've gone mad and put a white short sleeve shirt on. I just don't care anymore. Just don't care. Now, thanks so much to Joe from AmericanTalkUSA.com, who sent me some lovely photographs of the Earth as taken, I think, from a satellite going round it. So fantastic, that. Thank you very much for that. And he says, hey man, Amy and I were watching NBC's Today this morning, a couple of weeks ago, and it says 25% of properties in South Beach, Miami, Florida are in foreclosure. That is people trying to flip houses and make quick money. Prices have fallen by 40%. 40% prices in South Beach, Miami have gone down. With sterling at 2 times the dollar, that's a big chunk of buying power for a European residents. And the market in Miami will come back. Great restaurants, entertainment, clubs and all that will come back. Just food for thought. Now, thank you for that, Joe. Because you know, Joe knows, you see, I do a little bit of property stuff myself. And I hear what you're saying. And you know, as well as loving Australia, I love Florida very much. I've never been to Miami. I've done the Orlando thing. And, of course, New York and other places like that. But I do, out of the states I've been to in Florida, I like Maine. Beautiful. Oh, Maine. Just like a big park, isn't it? Maine. And Florida, I also like. Why do I like Florida? I like watching the lightning storms. Terrifying. Lightning storms in Florida. So, maybe I should be looking at buying a place in Miami, shall I? I might have a little look at that on the internet when I go later on. Hi to David. Hello, David. David Barron. Hello, sir. He says, how's it going? I caught your show, and to answer your question, I'm from Alberta in Canada. Yeah, I remember now. Now, regarding that research, I indicated I would look into about transforming my fellow employees into faithful and loyal listeners. Sadly, I was not successful in making anyone in Preppers into your listenership. Oh. However, my girlfriend has become a faithful listener. However, it was actually your posting of the YouTube videos on Facebook that managed to get her hooked. Oh, really? Are you a viewer? Are you a viewer? I wish I could take credit on that, but the world... Oh, I love this bit. The world-renowned superstar, Chris Reardon, managed to beat me to the punch in converting her over. I guess there's no way to beat the great legendary figures at their own game. Is that what I am? A legendary figure? I tell you what, I hope one day that I would become as legendary as Bruce Forsyth that I mentioned earlier. Well, better luck next time, I suppose. Anyway, got to run. Have a good one. That's from Dave. Thank you, Dave, in Canada. Do I need to buy a place there as well? I'm collecting houses at the moment. No, not really. Hello to Bruce. Bruce. Hello, Bruce. How are you, sir? I really enjoyed your video, February the 23rd, which featured your nephew, Gary, and his girlfriend, Stacey. They seem like fine young people with the right attitude towards life. I think they do look like one, don't they? They do look like together as one. I'm glad you were able to spend this week with them. By the way, you said Gloria and I are Amy's parents. Well, that's half true. Gloria is Amy's mother, but I'm not her father. Gloria and I are both in our second marriages. Yes, sorry, that's my mistake. We got married when we were 53. Gloria has... so there's still hope for me, really, isn't there? If you got married at 53, there is still hope for me. Gloria has her daughter Amy and her son Jay. I have my son Matt and my daughter Carrie. That's a nice name. Carrie doesn't live here anymore. Do you know that one from Cliff Richard? I will be singing in a moment, by the way. Don't worry. Yes? Not yet, Carl. Don't turn off yet. Carl in Yorkshire, he hates my singing. He really does. Thanks for the great shows from Bruce. Thank you, Bruce. Nice to hear from you, sir. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we have got time to... Do you know, I'm desperate to go to the toilet at the moment. 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 4 minutes to go. Okay, 4 minutes to go. We'll have to wait. Oh, I'm older. Oh, anyone got a clothes peg somewhere? Right, now you'll love this. You will love this. It's from Mark. Do you remember Mark from autumnlake.com? He does fantastic cartoons, which, what did I do with my... Oh, I pinned it up downstairs, didn't I? I pinned a cartoon he sent me up downstairs in the kitchen. It's like made into a calendar. Fantastic. Now, he was mentioning that they are going to make a new series of Bewitched, obviously with different actors and actresses. And he's wrote here believe it or not, there are indeed lyrics to the signature tune of Bewitched. Did anyone else know this? And he's included it here, so I'm taking it upon myself to sing them to you. Oh, sorry, to sing them to you today. Now, for this, I'm going to have to put my headphones on so I can hear the music. And I'm going to sing you now the words to Bewitched. Now, I might have to do it a couple of times. We might have to do a couple of takes on this one, okay? Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it's all going to fit together. Let me just find it. Bewitched. Here we are. Singing for you. Now, don't forget, when we get to the nose... Oh, my God. Now, quickly now. I'm running out of time. Hang on a minute. Where are we go? Here we go. Here we go. When we do the nose bit, when it goes... You've got to do that to your nose, okay? Here we go. Here we go. Right. Here we go. Ready? Bewitched, bewitched, you've got me in your spell. Oh, wait, no, that's wrong, isn't it? Just a minute now. Oh, we're not going to get this done. I might have to practice it and do it in the next show because I'm running out of time now. Here we go. Bewitched, bewitched, you've got me in your spell. Bewitched, bewitched, you know your craft so well. Before I knew what you were doing, I looked in your eyes. That brand of woo that you've been brewing took me by surprise. You witch, one thing that's for sure. That stuff you pitched just hasn't got a cure. My heart was under lock and key, but somehow it got unhitched. I never thought my heart could be had, but now I'm caught. I'm kind of glad to be bewitched. No, that's not going to work at all, is it? And I'll tell you what, I'll practice it for the next show, okay? I'm sorry about that. I really should have tried that before we done it live. Oh, it's all live here. Now, it's time for me to go. Thank you very much for joining me today. Some more emails coming up in the next show. Good news from Julian as well. Julian in Argentina. And one from Joe as well coming up in the next show. Don't forget the email address once again, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. And I'll practice this song for the next show, okay? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Thanks for joining me. For myself, Chris Reardon. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye.